Welcome once again to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be looking at how to create a simple login UI, something like this. And then so let's get started. Okay, so first of all, I've got my icon over here. It's an animated icon, so it keeps on animating. And then I've got my welcome text here, and I've got another text here, and then I've got some text fields over here. Okay, so first of all, let's get right into the video. So I have my blank scaffold here. I have my main.dat file here, which the home is the login screen. The login screen, I've got my scaffold, a blank scaffold. So first of all, let us create the body. The body, let us say a safe area first, and then the child, the safe area will be expecting a child. The child will give it a single scroll view, and for the child of the single scroll view, we'll give it a column, right, because they are going to be laid on top of each other. And for the column, it has children. For the children, it will have a text of welcome to, let's see how it's, welcome to safety, right? Okay, so welcome to safety, it has an exclamation mark. Then let's see how it looks over here. So as you can see, the welcome is on top here. So what we can do to center it over here is that we can wrap this column inside a center, right? Okay, and now it's over here. So let's continue. We have another text over here which says keep your data safe, right? So we also have another text saying keep your data safe. So let's give the style of this text. Okay, so the style of this text requires a text style, right? And then the style, we give it a font width of, I think it's bold. Okay, so a font width dot bold, then let's give it a font size of font size, oh sorry, my bad, font size is already expecting a double, so you can give it, let's say let's make it 15.0. then let's see how it looks like. Okay, welcome to safety. I think 15 is too small, let's make it 23. And let's give the style of this one to a text style, and then let's give it a font size of 18. Yeah, I think 18 would also be okay. So here we have it. And then what's next? We have some space between this one, and then keep your data, it's kind of grayish. Okay, so let's give the color to be colors.gray, right? And then let's space these text. We can bring a sized box between them, and then we give it a height of, let's say, 7.0. and then as you can see, there's some space between them. And let's bring a const here to remove all the const files, the lengths. Okay, so let's go on. What's the next thing? We have a text field here, right? Two text fields. So what we can do is that we can bring a text field over here, a text form field because we are going to be filling a form, right? So instead of a text field, we can use a text form field. Okay, so this text form field doesn't require this const value over here, so we bring the const over here instead of bringing it in at here. So let's see what we have over here. So there's a text form field, right? When you click on it, you can be able to type whatever you want to type over there, but let's modify it so that it will look as this one. So what we can do is that this text form field takes an unbounded width, right? So what we can do is that we can wrap it within a container, and then we give the container a width that we want. But for the sake of every screen will have different width, we can just make a padding. We can make a padding const and then edge insert dots. We can make a symmetrical padding, and then we can make horizontal, and then we can make it 30. And now you can see that it's getting closer and closer. Let's see. Okay, I think making it 35 will be okay. Okay, so now let's make a decoration. It takes a box decoration, right? The box decoration will take, first of all, let's make a height of 30 pixels, and let's see what it looks like. Okay, let's give it a dummy color, and then let's see, you can specify the color to be colors.gray, right? Then okay, so this 30 is actually small. Let's make it a 50, right? Okay, so instead of bringing this padding over here, let's cut it, and then let's make a padding around the container instead, because we want the container to also take that padding. And then let's place the padding we specified over here, and then now let's see. Okay, so this is what we have right now. Okay, so I think the grayish color is too much. We can decrease the opacity. So let's decrease the grayish color opacity. So dots with opacity of, opacity takes from only 0 to 1, right? So let's make it 0.3, and then let's see how it looks like. So this is what we have. Okay, so I think it's okay, and then let's make a sized box. Okay, we can make a size box over there, right? And then with the height, this one we make it 15 instead. Okay, so 15 is actually small. Let's make it 35. Okay, so I think 35 is okay. So with the decoration, let's decorate this container over here. We can make a border radius, and which takes in a border radius. Let's make it a circular one, and then let's specify maybe 12 radius on each side. Okay, so this is what we have here. This is what they have there. I think ours is too much. Let's make it 8 instead. Okay, so I think this one is okay. Can actually increase the height by 60, and then we want to remove this line over here, right? So this line is coming from the text form field. So what we can do is that we can specify a decoration which takes an input decoration, and then we can specify the border, and then we can make it border.none. Okay, so I think it's input border dot none instead. Okay, so that will remove our border. Then still we can be able to tap on it, and then we can be able to do whatever you want to do, right? Okay, so let's decorate it more. We have an email here, and then so we have a label of email, right? We have a label which takes a text of email, and then you'll be able to see the email over there. Okay, it's too close to this place, so we can wrap it with padding. Yes, you can wrap it with padding, or you can wrap it with a container. Let's wrap it with a container, then let's give it a margin of edge insets, right? Dot only from the left side, and let's make it a 10 pixels margin. Let's remove this const here, it's worrying us. Then let us, okay, so as you can see, when we click on it, you can see the email goes to the top there. So that is our label, right? So this label is grayish, right? So let us specify some style over here. It takes in a text style, then we specify the color to be colors.gray, right? And then as you can see, now we have a grayish color here. Okay, so let's give it a suffix icon. So inside this input decoration, we can give it a suffix icon which takes in an icon, which takes in a widget. Okay, so the widget can be an icon, and then we can have an icon's data. We can make it email. Yes, that's a great idea. Then you can see that we have an email icon over here. So it's the same thing as we have over here. So what we can do is that we can refactor our text form field over here, so we can extract the widgets. Oh sorry, this is not what I did. Okay, so it is not giving me the option, right? Okay, so let us go down here, and then let me create another class. It will be a stateless class, right? We can actually move it outside of this file, but since it's just this file, we can maintain it over here, and we can make it a text field container or something, any text field container, right? Okay, which will retain what we have over here, the text form field. Okay, so we cut everything over here, then we'll put it over here. Okay, and then this text field container will be over here. As simple as that. So it's still the same thing, but we are just simplifying our code. So what we can do is that we can create some final variables over here. So we can have a label, final string label, and then a final can have an icon data over here. Then we have an icon, and then we are supposed to add it to our constructor, icon, right? And it's since it's required, the icon will obviously get an error over here. Icons.email. Okay. So now let's add our let's specify the label, and let's go down. Then let's change this to be the email that the label that we created, sorry, label, then remove this, and we'll bring our const keyword over here. Okay, and let's run our app, and then it's still the same thing, right? So let's copy that thing, let's copy this container, and then let's place it on here, but then this time around, oh sorry, I think I've copied it inside another. So let's cut this, and then let's so we are going to copy this padding instead of the container. Copy this padding and we paste it over here. Okay, and for this one we are going to use its password, right? So we are going to use password. We're going to use password, and over here we are going to use password, right? Then let's refresh, and then we can see password here. Okay, so this icon, for this icon, it's the visible, I think it's the visibility icon. So let's make it dot visibility. Okay, so as you can see, we have the visibility icon over there, and then let's give it some space. So we add a size box, and we add a height. Let's make the height to be 30, and then let's run our app. Okay, it's kind of getting there. Okay, so let's add another container, and that container will be our button over here which says login, right? Okay, so we have a container. Do you know what? I think this container is actually the same thing over here, just that the child is different. So let's copy this container over here. In fact, let's copy the padding over here, and then let's paste it over here, right? Okay, and then the child, instead of being a text field, the child will be a center, and the child of the center is a text which says done, right? Over here, done. Oh, it says login instead. So instead of done, let's make it a login button. Then let's bring our const, and the color, we make it purple. Okay, so let's see what we have now. Okay, so we have something like this. Over here too, we have something like this, right? Let's consider it, and then let's make a style over here. Let's make a style, and the style will take a text style, and then the color will be white, right? And then we increase the font size to 10. Let's see how 10 looks like. Okay, 10 is very small, so let's make it 15. Okay, so let's make it 17, and let's see how it looks like. Okay, so I think this one is okay, and then let's make it let's increase the font weight by font weight dot bold. Okay, so now as you can see here, we have our login button here, So let's also make some space between the text form field and the button over there. So we have a space between this one. And then what else? We have forgot password here, which is only a text. So let's add what we added here, but this time we make it 20. Let's make it 20, and then let's enter a text which says forgot password, and it also take a style which is a text style, and then the color is the color of this, which is, let's make it colors.purple. Then the size, let's make it 17. And then what else? Okay, so let's do that one. Let's see. Okay, so a text over here. So let's run our app and then let's see what we have over here. Okay, so let's change this to black and let's see whether the blacks appears. Oh, okay, so it came. So let's change it back to the purple one. So as you can see, we have a purple text over there, which is this one, and I think it's, we go down and then we have a don't have an account, right? So register. So that's what we do over here. So that will be a text pan instead of a normal text, because as you can see, this one, the color is different from this one, right? The register over here. So we have a text dot rich, and we have a text span. We have a text span over here. The text span will take a children actually takes a list of text span. So you have to bring your square brackets and then you type text span, right? And then the text span will have a text of see register over here. Okay, so it will have a text of, and then the text also takes a string, not a widget. So register, you have register over here, and then it takes a style also. Okay, over here, style of text style, and then the color will be, let's copy this style and then put it over there, right? So okay, so bring another, this one, and then we say don't have an account, which has a question mark, and for this one the color will be black. Okay, so that's what we have over there, right? That's what we have over here. But for this one we want it to come down a little here. So let's just make some space between it. So let's grab this size box, let's copy it, then let's put it below, and then let's make a 50 height between the forgot password and then they don't have password. 50 I think is too small, so let's make it 120. Okay, so I think this one is better now. So we are done. So it's left with the icon over here. So let's go on top. Let's go on top over here, our first child, and then I have my icon over here. In the assets I have my lock.json file, and then I've added to my YAML file, and then in my dependencies. So what we do is that we call the lottie.assets, and then you specify the assets name to be in a string, right? So assets slash it's lock.json, then we bring our comma here and force this file here, which is coming in a size box, and we can force it in some constraints. We set the height to be, let's make it a 80, and let's make the width also 80, and then let's see what happens after this. Instead of putting it over there. Okay, so now as you can see, we have our little animation over there, but it's too small, so let's make the width 150, and then we make this one also 150, and let's see how it looks like. Right, so this is how it looks like. Okay, so this is how it looks like, and then let's reduce the size between the forgot password and this one over here, right? So let's make it to be 70, and then let's see what happens. Okay, so we have our UI here, which I think it's kind of looks like this one over here. So we have this, we have that. Okay, so that's what we have now. But let's cover one more thing here. Let us cover one more thing. You see this animating icon here, it's always animating. That means it's always rebuilding, right? It's always drawing itself on the screen, and then that will decrease our performance of the app. You see the app is currently running at, it's even going higher, approximately 12.6 frames per second. Every second it's going 11 frames per second. So that's not what we want to have. So what we can do is that we can give this animating icon here a controller. So in order for us to use the animated controller, we'll make this a stateless widget instead. So let's make it a stateless widget, and then in the state over here, in the init state, oh, we have some. Okay, let's make an override over here, and we have an init state. So first of all, let's check our documentation. Let's see how our init state currently is. So our init state looks like this. Let's copy the init state over there, and then let's put it over here. So what currently we are doing is that let's declare our controller over here, which is of type anime. Oh god, Okay, so we have our animation controller over here, right? So what we are doing is that we are declaring our animation control over here, and then in the init state, that's what gets rendered first. That gets what it's built first upon every screen. So we set that controller to be the animation controller, and then we set the deep vsync to be this. This over here is specifying the state, the current state which we are in. So this is not working because we have to make this state a single ticker provider state mixing, and then let's specify for now. If we specify the duration right now, we make a custom duration which we don't know the duration at which this icon is animating. Okay, so what we do is that Lottie has got us covered with the animating and those things. So we specify the controller over here to be the controller that we are getting over there, and then we specify the unloaded, which takes the composition of the icon that is animating, and then we specify the controller dot duration to be the composition, right? Composition dot duration, and then finally we forward it. Okay, so we have to bring a double quote over here, and then we forward meaning that we are forwarding our controller. So upon our first build, we are forwarding our controller. That means let me do it, and then you see what I'm talking about. So our app is rebuilding. Let's wait for it to finish. Okay, so as you can see, it's forwarded only once, right? That means we are not resetting our controller, right? Okay, so as you can see, it has forwarded only once. It's not rebuilding again, right? So we still have this 12 frames per second, but it's now constant, right? It's not really rebuilding, it's not really rendering our app. So what we can do is that after this forward, we set we check if the status, right? So we set the controller, and then we add status listener, and then we check if the current state of the controller is equal to the animation status dot completed. So if it has finished animating, we will set the controller to reset, and then we will forward our controller again. That means constantly rebuilding, right? So let's see what we have here. Okay, so as you can see, it will first run, right? So let's wait for it. Okay, so as you can see, it will first run, and then when it finishes, that is if status is completed, we will reset it, and then it will run it again. So that's what it's doing here. So our advantage we get is that we have the chance to call our dispose, right? And then let us go and copy our dispose over here in the documentation, and then we set the controller dot dispose. That means if you are no longer in this screen, this controller will be disposed. That means it won't keep animating again, and that is a performance update for us. So guys, that's all. So guys, like this video and subscribe, and then click on the notification bell icon to keep you guys updated upon every video I post. And then I will post another video of how to validate these text fields. And maybe when you click on login, it will say that maybe it will give you an error of email is not valid, something like that. Yes, so that will be in my next video, so I'll keep you guys up to date. Okay, bye.